we are focused on helping him for this latest project that he's been working on. It's really, really good stuff.
Yeah. All right, cool. Another artist I want to mention who brought you guys up in an interview was Elle Varner. You know, she was raving about the work she was doing with you guys. So, you know, tell me about that. What's it like working with her? What are you doing with her?
It's some pretty fucking magical stuff. I have to say, it is to me, in my opinion, it is some of our, and it's up for debate as our best work to date.
I agree.
And we've done a lot of shit. We've been doing a lot of shit with that. We just, I don't know, we fucking snapped when we did those sessions. Like, I don't know what got into us. She's so influential, and we were just so inspired by her and her personality and her energy. And Oak and I are, you know, we're not the, you know, we both got a couple of screws and some loose ends top two. So it just was a big crazy fest, and it's incredible. It's incredible stuff, and I can't wait for the world to hear this.
Yeah, that project was incredible, man. We had a lot of fun on that project.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to hearing those.
Yeah, but what's funny about both of the artists you just mentioned is that it's not very often that you work with an artist that you become a personal fan of. Like, being a producer or a songwriter or whatever, it's so easy to get into the studio and just look at it as, okay, I gotta write a hot song today. Very, very rare that you work with an artist you say that you listen to on a regular basis outside of working with them. You've never met them, but you never worked with them, just somebody you listen to. And I can say that about both Elle Varner and Phil. So it's funny that you mentioned those two.
Yeah, very cool. That's good stuff. Talk to me about the Nicki Minaj album you guys worked on last year, because it seemed like from looking at the discography, you guys had done mostly R&B up to that point. So, you know, was there anything different you had to do when producing for her?
Well, that is actually a great question, Tom. No, we actually didn't do anything different. The great thing about Oak and myself is that a lot of people don't know is that we're from two different sides of the world, literally, you know. But even from a music standpoint, you know, he comes from music. He comes from, you know, keys and chords and progressions and pop and R&B, and I'm a basement nigga. Like, I come from the hood, North Philadelphia, listen to records and DVD rappers all fucking day. So combination, as odd as it may seem, it just worked. But I had already known Nicki since about 2006, since the come up in her first mixtape. And I've been working with her since then, and you know, Oak's did some incredible stuff for her. He just kind of added, you know, some music and some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And some, you know, pop essence to the shit that we were doing, and it just worked because Nicki's a very musical person herself. A lot of people don't know, but she's a very musical person.
It's funny too. I think you draw an interesting parallel too. Like, you look at Nicki in the beginning of her career and what she was doing initially. She was basically like straight up hip hop, straight up on some basement shit. Exactly what Pop was saying he was in the beginning. And it's funny how, like, the shift in Pop's production to my production style, like Pop being the really rhythmic, drum-based, sample-driven type producer, and me being like a really poppy, melodic-driven producer. The shift from Pop to me is exactly what Nicki did from the beginning of her career to now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's such a natural tone for her. Like, for us, it was such an easy thing because she literally represented both sides of what me and Pop are on either side of the production. You know, from the beginning of what she was doing to what she's doing now. So I think it was an incredible thing.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Why we did 3 records.
Yeah. Another album.
And that wasn't. We were also. That wasn't the first hip hop project we worked on. We were also on the Young Money album. Actually, we did.
Okay.
Bullshit, but somewhere in there, the credits were kind of messed up and stuff like that. But yeah, that was. We've been doing a couple other rap projects outside of the Pink Friday project.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Another album I want to ask you guys about that you contributed to was Genuine, A Man's Thoughts album. I know you guys worked with RL, who wrote a couple of those songs you guys produced. Tell me about that project.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite tracks that me and Oak did is for a song called "Close the Door." I always loved that track, and then the Genuine album was really good for me because that was really my first taste of mainstream R&B, and I just love the tracks that we ended up doing for that album. No disrespect, I don't know who the mix engineer was, but he kind of fucked our mixes up.
Oh wow.
The initial tracks were incredible. So that was another milestone in my career, for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, working on that project was a treat for me, number one, because I had grown up listening to Genuine and as dope as he was. Which really was amped working with him. And then the person that actually owns his label, the label that he signed to, is this lady named Ira DeWitt, who also happens to be Turkish.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that she and I had in common.
Oh, wow.
Working with that label has always been really dope.
Yeah.
Working with somebody from the home country.
Yeah. All right, cool.
It was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Plus, we did the majority of that record we were in St. Louis doing that one. So it's always good to be able to get out and like do stuff in different locales. It kind of adds a different energy to what you're doing. It's actually part of the reason why I think the L stuff came out so dope too. Really for me because we were working in New York. Working in New York is fun.
Okay. Let me ask you about the work you did on Fantasia's album last year. You know, how did that opportunity come about? And tell me about working with her.
Wow, Fantasia. I think the most pertinent song, because we ended up doing 2 records on that album. One of them being The Worst Part Is Over, which is a record that Clark Kelly, I think it ended up being like a bonus track, but I think that the collard greens and cornbread record that we did for Fantasia might be one of my favorite records that I've ever had anything to do with.
Oh, wow.
And I say that to say, the funny thing is a lot of people don't realize the person, this songwriter named Tiwa, I don't know what Tiwa's last name is, Tiwa Savage. Savage and Pop wrote this record together.
Mm-hmm.
And the funniest thing is, weeks before any idea of this record was even coming out, we just kind of sit in the studio and Pop kind of randomly was like, yo, I got this idea for a song called Collard Greens and Cornbread. Now the thing about Pop and the thing about me is that we're both like larger guys. Like I'm 6'5", I'm like 180 pounds. Pop's a big dude too. So obviously, we love to eat. We're culinary fucking specialists and shit. Foodies or whatever you want to call it. We always have Food Network on in the studio, and me having lived in the South, we talk about like Southern cuisine all the time and shit. So Pop is just kind of randomly like, because Pop's a very random person, randomly like, yo, let's do a song called Collard Greens and Cornbread. And I looked at him and I said, get the fuck out of here. And then I was like a couple of days later, he was listening to the Martin Gaye Time Joel sample. Like, yeah, this right here is Collard Greens and Cornbread or something. So we did the track. Pop and Tiwa got in. They wrote the record. Cut the demo, shopped it to the label, and initially the label was fixing on the record because they were scared of the title.
Wow.
What a lot of people didn't realize about Fantasia, I love her to death, and I think the reason people love her so much is because she is from where she's from. She's country. People love the fact that she's country. It's such a natural thing for her to say what she's saying on that record. And so initially, I could see why the label would be scared of that, but initially they were kind of, they finally came around, and today it's one of her singles. And it's, like I said, one of my favorite songs that we've ever done.